Here's a list of things that don't cause murder. Stiletto heel shoes, mothers, selfies, broken hearts, romance, sex romps. Here's a list of things that do cause murder. The decision to murder someone. Look at this. Bullet just came into this house and killed this daughter and her father, just all by itself. No, of course it didn't. This 16-year-old girl, her ex-boyfriend came into her house with a loaded gun, shot and killed her father, and tried to kill her sister. This is Tara Costigan. A lot of you will have heard of her. Her ex-partner came into her house, brutally murdered her a week after she gave birth to their baby. This is the headline we get. Of course, you don't think that bullets and axes are just randomly going into people's houses and killing them, because murder is a choice, and things can't make choices. But the men who committed these murders, and yes, they were all men, they didn't make these headlines at all. They're invisible. Does it matter? Does it matter that they were all men and that they're not in the headlines? I think it does. I'm a journalist, as are all the editors and writers and sub-editors that put these articles together. And the purpose of journalism, according to our code of ethics, is to describe society to itself. In Western countries, somewhere around 80 to 90% of murders are committed by men. And around 30% of those are domestic violence related. New South Wales Coroner's Court did a study on this a while ago. They looked at all the domestic violence homicides over the last 12 years in New South Wales, our most populated state. So it's a fairly robust data set. They looked at police investigations, homicide squad findings, coroner's court inquests, and criminal trials. Now, this is not a group of people commonly known for their radical feminist leanings. But in that entire 12 years, over hundreds of murders, they did not find one single case, not one, where an abusive woman killed her male partner. When women kill their partners, they are almost always the victims of his violence. So what does this tell us? It tells us that abusive men can escalate to murder, and abusive women just don't. This is the story we should be telling. If we were suffering a plague of ghosts or invisible beings sneaking into people's houses and murdering families, that's definitely a story we should be telling. Do great on Netflix. If shoes and selfies were murdering innocent women, that's definitely a story we should be telling. But that's not what's happening. In the overwhelming majority of cases, when a woman is killed, she will be killed by a man who claimed to love her. And that's the story we should be telling. We are not doing our job very well. A mother made a fatal mistake. The mother of a murdered son makes a headline. I have a son. I routinely expect that his friends are not going to murder him. Do you think this should make headlines? I can't imagine what this woman is going through. It is incomprehensible. But I know that victims of crime, over and over again, they go back and they read the news articles about what happened, trying to make sense of why did this happen. And this woman, what does she see? Every time she goes back, she sees that her son is dead and that it's her fault. I mean, it's ludicrous, of course, it's not her fault. Her son was killed by a man named Daniel Parry. But you don't see that until the third paragraph. What you see is that it's a woman's fault and that the killer is nowhere. I wish this was a bizarre or a rare headline. It isn't. Found dead. Like they got home from the theme park and just expired from all the theme park joy. No, this man got home, pulled out a gun, loaded it, pointed it at each of his 3 children, and killed them. The youngest was 2 years old. Would you know from this headline that at the same time, he shot and killed his wife as well? Found dead. They weren't found dead, they were murdered by a man who claimed to love them. If you had to guess, what do you reckon this one's about? She's a stripper, so of course she lies. It's a boob job dispute, you know, boobs are always good. It's going to be something funny, right? Same case after the verdict, except what he was actually convicted of was sexual assault. What are we telling society about itself with this headline? We're telling them that women lie, that strippers aren't really people, that sexual assault is just a boob job dispute, it's not serious, it doesn't matter. This is not journalism. This is deception. This is perpetuating the myth that women cause the violence enacted against them and then they lie about it. She didn't lie, he was convicted. Do you know how hard that is to do? 3% of the sexual assaults that are reported to police reach conviction, and only about 15% of the ones that happen are ever reported. She didn't lie. This is not doing our job. Drunk teenager. So she's 17, 18, maybe 19. She's out, she's in a little skirt, she's having a few drinks, she's flirting with football players, getting herself into trouble, right? That's what you probably think when you see a drunk teenager. She was 14 years old. She was raped by a 45-year-old man who used alcohol as a weapon to incapacitate her. But there she is in the headline, being a drunk teenager, and all the myths that go with that. Loose young women leading innocent footballers astray. A few months after this rape, this 14-year-old girl, this child, she tried to kill herself. That's in the article too, but it's right down the bottom after you've already got all those ideas in your head. This is not describing society to itself. Now, we haven't got hours and hours here, so I just had to pick a few of these, but these come up every single day, more than once. Child sex charges. That bottom one, 7 counts of rape, 30 counts of carnal knowledge of a child, 26 counts of indecent treatment, and 1 count of making child exploitation material. 79 offences in total, all against children. Now, to be clear, he hasn't been to trial yet. We're not talking about whether or not he's guilty, we're talking about how the charges against him are reported. Child sex charges. Children can do a lot of things. They can forget to put their plates in the dishwasher. They leave Lego out on the floor for you to stand on in the middle of the night. They almost always forget to feed the dog. You know what they cannot do? They cannot have sex with adults. Sex requires consent, and children, by definition, they can't give consent, so it's not sex. It's rape. It's child abuse. It's sexual abuse. It's any one of a number of terms that accurately describe a crime. Sex is not a crime. You can't be charged with having sex. You can only be charged if one of the people involved does not or cannot give consent. Sex and rape are not the same thing. Like giraffes and spoons are not the same thing. When journalists tell society that sex is the same as rape or child abuse, they are not describing what is happening, they are describing what isn't happening. And again, we are failing at our purpose. Where to even start? Wow. She's not even a person. She's a doctor's daughter. She's walking wonky. She's been drinking, of course. You know, women do that. Jägerbombs. Always get that one mixed up. 6 of them, if you can believe it. And where were her friends? What were they doing? Why weren't they protecting her? Why didn't they stop this from happening to her? The man who found her took her back to his house, raped her, beat her, strangled her, killed her. Where is he? Where's his choices, his actions? All we see is her, the victim. Her actions and her choices. And the one thing I can tell you for sure about people who have been raped and murdered is they did not choose to be raped. And they did not choose to be murdered. And nothing they did caused that rape or that murder. Because there is only one thing that causes rape and murder, and that is the decision to do it. If journalists are going to do their job properly and honestly, that is the story we need to tell. So why does this happen? Why does this keep happening? We keep seeing these headlines. Is it male-dominated newsrooms? We know that about 70% of reporters and editors in newsrooms are men. Is this just how they see violence against women, so this is how they say it? Is it sensationalism? Is the audience chasing the headline, or is the headline chasing the audience? I know it all gets a bit chicken and egg, and honestly, I don't even know if it matters anymore. Just because it's always been like this does not mean it always has to be like this. Journalists are failing at our job, and I think we are. We fail ourselves, we fail our profession, we fail the society that depends upon us for the truth, and most of all, we fail the victims who have already been through far too much. But when you, as the audience, see these headlines, when you click on them, or even if you just ignore them and pass over them and just accept them, they won't change. If journalists are failing to do their job, you, as the audience, should tell them that you expect more, that you expect better, that you expect the truth. Because surely the truth is the bare minimum you should expect from journalism. You can, and you should, and you must tell journalists that you expect better from the profession that exists to tell your society, tell you about your society. Because if we won't fix it, you can. Thank you.